Bring us in, babe.
Welcome to
Coco Caliente. Holy macaroni.
It's been a month from hell.
Okay,
wait, let me restart that.
No, you're good. Leave it in because it's true.
A month from HE double hockey sticks.
It's just ever since, and I think we talked about the car crash. Ever since I got in that car crash, I think I worked last month maybe like 3, maybe 5 days max. And
my gosh.
And then everything spiraled downhill. Like everything just went south fast.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. I'm overwhelmed with catching everybody up. But I think if you follow my Instagram, you kind of knew we were really, really sick.
Basically, what happened was somehow, Nicole's parents got COVID, right?
Well, my dad was technically never positive.
Yeah, he technically never tested.
So my mom was the first one. So let's actually Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, we got all dressed up as Wizard of Oz, and then my mom just
Which, by the way, I did not approve whatever poll Nicole did to do that, to where I was the Tin Man with that.
Yeah, that's what they picked. I didn't pick it.
Okay, well, that mask was horrendous. My buddies at barber school, when I got back to school, they're like, what the heck was that Halloween outfit that you were wearing?
Okay, but would you rather silver paint on your face?
No, but
okay.
I would have rather.
You picked the freaking mask. You didn't have a choice.
You know what? I would have preferred being like he could be my lion cub. You know, why can't we both be the lion? You know, we're both little. You know.
Oh my
daddy
gosh!
lion.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll let people freaking pick what we're gonna be from now on, because I really knew what I wanted to be, and now I'm gonna save it for next year. And the thing is like, I was sad I couldn't be what I wanted to be, and I was like, oh, we'll dress up twice, but oh my gosh, no. With a new baby, you cannot.
No.
So that day we literally just got dressed up for, like, it was just our family.
Yeah.
And then we got undressed, and my mom was like, we were supposed to have people over, and I'm just like, I'm really tired. My mom's like, I'm really tired. My mom looked like she was, like, really, like, got hit by a truck.
Zombie mode, yeah.
Yeah. So then we went back and we got pizza, and then the next day was when it all started. So November 1st, I would say my mom was already showing symptoms of COVID, but we didn't know. And then
your dad was like kind of sick, but he never tested, but he was like always tired and everything.
Yeah, and I had a really bad headache and eye pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like tired. I remember me and you, we both took a nap at some point. We never take naps. So we took a nap together I don't know if that was like the next day, but anyways, my mom got sick really bad, I feel like. And then,
well, and after a few days, she actually tested positive,
yeah.
And you and me did an at-home test.
And I tested positive.
And Nicole tested positive, and I was negative. And I was like, oh, I'm vaccinated, happy-go-lucky. I can just help everybody out. And at that time, because with my job, since I make so many contacts with people in the public every day, I can't go to work, obviously. So I ended up being off almost a month just because of COVID. But so I was like, well, I can help out. Like, I'm not too concerned. I'm already around them, and I'm vaccinated, right?
And the thing is I really couldn't. I was so worried. I was very worried about my mom. Very, very worried because she's 51. And then I was really worried about Arrow. And so I did a lot of like caretaking.
Yeah.
Right. So I was taking care of Arrow. He was no symptoms whatsoever, but I'm scared. I had to keep feeding him because I only like breastfed at that point. And then he wouldn't take a bottle. And then also my mom, I was taking care of her, and then I was taking care of my dad, and Victor was fine. And then
oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So then I'm like pretty miserable through this. I'd say I had like 5 or 6 real like bad days, and then I was slowly getting better. And then go ahead.
Yeah, and then so basically 2 weeks into this, right? I'm thinking I'm able to go back to work that following, which would have been about 10 days. I'm thinking I'll be able to go back to work.
Because I'm finally back better, right?
Oh, not only that, just the quarantine period, right?
Yeah.
From the onset of symptoms, 10 days, everybody's kind of, whatever. Everybody's slowly getting better. And so I'm slated to go back to work on a certain day. Well, literally 2 to 3 days before that, I'm like, oh my God, I feel terrible. Like, I don't know. And I had like maybe like some cold symptoms, but I was like, not enough.
You were taking like Dayquil and stuff, right?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is COVID or not. I did another at-home test, And actually, I went to the doctor. That's what it was. I went to the doctor, and I was like, look, I'm feeling a little off. She did a test there. It was negative. And she's like, well, just do Dayquil, NyQuil. I think you just have a cold. I think that's what she said. Something like that. And I was like, all right, that's fine. 2 days later, I am like, I woke up and I told Nicole, I can't do anything today. Like, I feel terrible.
Yeah, he couldn't, when he had it, like, I could leave the bed, and I pretty much did a lot, but when he could not leave the bed.
Like, I would get up from the bed, walk to the kitchen, and then back, and I'm like, I'm gassed. Like, that's it for me right now. So I went to the doctor again. They tested me, and they're like, yeah, you have COVID. We're going to give you some steroids. And, you're just going to have to rest, obviously stay quarantined, whatever. So I was like, well, now I have it. And I actually had it really bad. And that really, really, really sucked. And then, so when you get it right, it's the 10 days, right? So, and for us at work, it's that time and as long as you have no symptoms. So at the end of those 10 days, I was actually like a few days later. Oh, and I was feeling so bad. I got the
infusion.
I got the infusion therapy. And after I got the infusion therapy, I started feeling really a lot better.
And the only thing I took through it is I took some Tylenol.
For your headaches.
For my headache. And I didn't end up going to the doctor at all because I just felt like I didn't think they could help me or anything.
And you weren't feeling to the point to where you couldn't, do anything.
Right.
And so when I got to the end of my second, 10-day period, I'm like, okay, I'm slated to go back to work. This was a Saturday. Slated to go back to work on Saturday. I'm feeling better. I feel great. I have no signs or symptoms now. I did a at-home test. It came back negative. I'm like, perfect. We're good to go. Well, 2 days before that, Arrow had a rash.
Yeah, it was the day that I was supposed to be taking Paris to the vet to get her surgery done.
So many things going on at once.
So I literally was just giving, I was like, hey, you got Arrow I have to take the dog. She has to be there by 8:10. And then I went, and Vic was in the bathroom, and I was like, I'll change his diaper for him, get him dressed. And I uncover him, and just head to toe rash. I'm panicking. And then I called the pediatrician's office, and they're like, it's okay. It doesn't seem to be
he doesn't have a fever,
crazy.
right? You checked his fever. He checked temp. He didn't have a fever at that time.
And then so I was like, okay. So they got us in at 10 o'clock that day with the nurse practitioner. The nurse practitioner came in, and then she's like, let me bring in, the doctor. And so then the doctor came in, and he's like, yeah, it just looks like a viral rash, it's blanching and stuff. And,
he doesn't have any accompanying symptoms with it,
he
right?
doesn't have anything else. So, it's going to come and go. Don't freak out. I'm like, okay.
Just bring him in if he gets maybe a fever, if he's throwing
there was
up,
10
if
things.
he doesn't look good, if, there was a bunch of other stuff that we were supposed to be looking for.
And so I'm like, okay. And then a lot of people messaging me online saying, oh, yeah, my kid had rashes that were no big deal all the time. And I was like, Mom, did I ever get a rash like that? She's like, no. So I'm like, God, okay, I'm a little bit scared. So then
But Arrow was fine.
Yeah, he was. He was smiling.
Yeah, he wasn't uncomfortable.
You wouldn't have, and it wasn't itchy or anything. You wouldn't have known he had a rash if you couldn't see it. This episode is brought to you by Stance. So we just received some Stance items. They were really cool, comfortable, colorful socks.
I love them. Yeah. I wear them all the time.
Yeah, Victor loves them too because they are the taller socks that he likes, and then they have the shorter ones for me. But they're super well made. They're super soft, and they're really unique. They're fun to wear, and I'm definitely going to be wearing them and sliding across our new floors in our house.
Yeah, and they were founded in 2009. Stance Apparel represents a radical reinvention of socks, T-shirts, and more, with a sharp focus on comfort, quality, and creativity. Stance brings an atypical aesthetic alongside some of pop culture's hottest collaborations for the ultimate in style and self-expression. Because everything you wear should be a direct extension of you and who you are and how you feel. So
like we said, we love the products that we received. And so they do have some really cool collaborations if you're interested in Harry Potter, Batman, The Office,
The Goonies,
Disney, Barbie, whatever you kind of like, NBA. They're just great quality, and so it can be very personalized to you as well.
The Stance philosophy is that a perfect fit is more important than simply fitting in. That those who feel good, do good. Go see yourself. Just head over to stance.com and pick out whatever styles you like. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. So skip to 2 days later. I'm up at like 3:30 in the morning because I exercise, and then I have work.
That night before, he had a low grade temp.
Oh, he did.
And low grade, so it was under 100.4. It was like maybe 99.9 or something. And so I gave him some Tylenol.
Yeah, and then he felt he
I've
was
been
fine.
talking to like Mariah, she works in the pediatric ER down in Grand Rapids, and she's about to be a nurse practitioner, and she's my best friend. So anyways, I was keeping contact with her, gave a couple doses of Tylenol, woke up the next morning. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
and so I'm up at 3:30. I exercise before work at 6. I come back. Actually, while I'm at the gym, Nicole's like, come back. He's crying so much. I don't know what's going on. And when I get back here, she's like, oh, my God, I just took his temperature. He has 103 fever. Mm-hmm. The rash is still here. And then
he was like making these noises, and then he was
like screeching.
Yeah.
He wasn't just crying.
Like grunting, like he was like in pain. I'm like, oh my God, my heart was going to explode.
And we're like, not only now he has a fever, which the doctor said, and then he actually threw up too. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, like we have to go to the ER, right? So we take him to the ER. They swab him. They're like, he has COVID.
This was our local. This was not the U of M thing that you guys
Yeah, this
saw.
is a local hospital. They swab him. They say, well, he has COVID. There's nothing.
His heart rate was 180. Keep in mind, normally his heart rate is like 110 to 120. He's like, we transfer you, but they're not going to do nothing.
Exactly. He's like, you can go somewhere else. They're not going to do anything for you.
And I said, okay. And then so I've never been to U of M hospital. It's called MOTS.
It's the University of Michigan.
University of Michigan Hospital. Mm-hmm. I've heard how amazing they are. It's how far, Victor? If you're driving normal speed,
it's about 2.5 hours or 3 normal speed, and they specialize. I mean, University of Michigan Hospital is huge, but MOTS is a children's hospital, and they have a specific, ER for the kids.
What I was thinking is like, okay, they're really not going to do anything for us. So Victor, like, we need to go get a hotel near a good hospital in case we need to go back.
Yeah.
So then by time this is like at freaking 8 a.m, we're driving down there, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. Then my friend Mariah and my mom started sending me this like symptom thing where you get it after COVID and like your organs start to shut down for kids. And I'm in the back seat, like sick to my stomach, like, Vic, we're going to the ER. Like, even if they shoo us away, like how they said that they thought they would, we're just going, and then we'll go to get a hotel. Well, they didn't shoo us away. Within 5 minutes of just being there, oh my God, it was freaking amazing. Yeah. I just love them. They're angels on earth.
They had valet.
I mean, but they gave him Tylenol again because he needed it. He had a temperature. Then we get back in the room, and then things just like start rolling.
They start an IV.
Yeah, we got an IV. He had fluids for like 26 hours. He was just so sad, but he got a straight cath to get urine. They got a urine sample to test. Yep, and then they also did a chest X-ray, blood work. I mean, they did every freaking thing. And what their actual concern was, after everything came back fine, their actual concern was his hydration. They said because he's not feeling good, he's not eating. And because he's not eating, he's not hydrated. And they said he might not be able to, probably can't taste either. So, like, he's just... So they said that was the reason they kept us there for that 24-hour period, is to make sure he was having solid, like, heavy... wet diapers before he left, like several heavy, of them. Just like wet diapers, but like good, not because they had to weigh him. Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. They didn't just want there's a little pee in here. No, they took care of us so well. Oh, they hooked us up with everything. I mean, it was by far the best hospital experience I've had. As we were there, I was getting more angry at like. We're not going to do anything for you. Being shooed away. But then I thought, okay, this is such a blessing in disguise. I'm so grateful that they did that because we ended up where we needed to be. Yeah. He did a complete 180. He didn't have by the time we left, he didn't have a fever. Mm-hmm. He was eating regularly, very wet, soiled diapers. Smiley. And heart rate all the way down. Like it was, and that was just because we went there. You know what I mean? Yeah, if we were sitting at home, he wouldn't have ate. We would have ended up in the ER again, and it would have just been too late. Like, what am I supposed to go home and wait for him to have breathing difficulties or him to be, like, very dehydrated or him to, like, no, I'm not going to do that. This episode is brought to you by Brooklinen. Comfort is king, and 'tis the season for a royal coronation. Sleep like royalty on the softest sheets, and let's not stop there. Upgrade your comfort with bedding, towels, loungewear, and even robes. The sky's the limit with Brooklinen.
Brooklinen was started to create beautiful, high-quality home essentials that don't cost an arm and a leg. And people, what a success. Brooklinen works directly with manufacturers to make luxury available directly to you without the luxury level markups. So you get their amazing array of products at a reasonable price. Brooklinen has something for your every comfort need. Ideal for a seasonal refresh because they're launching new products, colors, and patterns all the time. And they're so confident in their core products, they come with a 365-day warranty. Yes, that's 1 year. And fans are confident too. They've received over 75,000 5-star reviews and counting.
So give yourself the comfort refresh you deserve and get it for less at Brooklinen. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code COCO to get $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code COCO for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's brooklinen.com, promo code COCO.
The other thing is for us, like, the fact that they did all that blood work, chest x-rays and urine tests and all that, and everything came back good, that's like another thing where we come home and we're like, oh, what if it's something else? Like, no, baby, look, they literally checked everything. And
it was a good peace of mind for us. Like, we didn't care. I didn't care the cost. I didn't care. I just wanted to just do what you have to do, like in that moment, because sometimes they're just like, well, I don't care. I don't care if my insurance covers it or not. Like, it's my baby.
Yeah, and that's something that opened our eyes a little bit to, like, a more general conversation about healthcare. Mm-hmm. Like, why is it that some doctors and some facilities don't use their resources? Yeah, they exactly. And that was the thing that I told Nicole. I was like, it's not that our local hospital didn't have IV, didn't have a lab, didn't have an x-ray machine. They had all those things. They just chose not to do it. You know, I don't know.
Which I'm glad at this point.
Yeah, I am too. That. But I just don't know what the parameters are for doing it, if it's about money. Because I talked to a doctor friend of mine. Mm-hmm. I told you about.
Oh, yeah.
And he was telling me that a hospital like U of M gets a lot of federal funding. Mm-hmm. And so they can do a lot more stuff without having to worry about the payment of it. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I understand that. But at the same time, it really shouldn't come down to money, right? Like, you should get the best service that you can get. I mean, I guess
are you telling me that
I'm oblivious to that side of it, I guess.
So are you telling me that
our local hospital
thinks that we wouldn't pay our bill or so they're not going to use their resources?
Yeah, something like that, right? So a private hospital doesn't have the funding and to maybe do every single test because they have to pay for that up front, obviously, and then get paid later.
I see. Okay, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is, for those of you who don't know.
I'm not an expert, though, so no. I'm just saying
we're just talking. Yeah. Like, this is like us talking at dinner. Well, that's our story about that. And Arrow's doing much better, but now I'm still...
the one sad thing that came out of that was, since he only felt good when he was being held and like on the boob essentially and getting, feeling that nourishment, when we got home, he didn't not want to be held. He wanted to be held like 24/7.
Yeah, even through the night.
Now he's getting a little bit better.
But he is. What's crazy is my mom called me. I don't even think Vic knows. My mom called me. She just dropped Arrow off for like an hour while we podcast. She called me and she said she can see both of his bottom teeth. So he's teething. Mm-hmm. And so this could also be why he's like clingier. But I'm on high alert. Like, if I see anything, his skin is still, from the rash, his skin is still on his belly, like super like rough. Kind of feels like scales. I just keep putting like ointment and stuff on it. But I am just like sick to my stomach that we got that. And then now there's, what is it called? The new thing out there?
Omicron.
What the heck? I don't want to leave my house and it makes me not want to have another baby.
Do you know why Omicron is so, why they're saying, why everybody's so scared? Scientists, you know why they're so scared of it?
Why? Because it spreads faster and easier?
So, okay. It's the mutations. Mm-hmm. So I was listening to a podcast, like I do a lot. And, for example, the Delta variant, and my numbers can be slightly off. Just keep that in mind. But the Delta variant, which is highly contagious, had about 10 is it like 10 mutations? Something like that, 10 mutations, right? And the mutations that are most dangerous are the ones that are in the spike protein itself. I guess the spike protein is the one that causes the most issues. Omicron has 50 mutations in it, right? And they say what happens is, like in a place like South Africa or Africa where that came from, the healthcare there is not great, right? And so there's a lot of people that have like very weak immune systems. With a very weak immune system, when you get the virus, it'll stay in your body longer. And the longer it stays in your body, the more mutations it gets, right? Because it's learning while it's in your body. And then so that's what happens, right? And then it makes its way to somebody else, and then it spreads around, the world. And so that's what their biggest concern is. But they're doing studies right now because they're not sure, like, even if it's more, like, does it really affect you more than any other virus, right? But the big concern is that it's going to be more resistant to vaccines.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's the big scare there. More resistant, and so will the boosters even work? So they're doing a lot of tests like that right now with it. But yeah,
because like with the infusion, Vic got the infusion. He's supposed to wait. I don't think you can get a booster for like 6 months. So there's a lot of things you have to follow. So I got to figure that out.
The other thing I was going to say is that if you find yourself with COVID, don't be embarrassed to tell people you have COVID.
Oh, it's so frustrating. They lie, and then that's why it spreads. Like, it's just a cold. And that's honestly how we got it.
By somebody that just had a cold.
And they still won't admit that that's what it is. And it's frustrating because it went through, had we known, we would not, had we even known they had a freaking cold, we wouldn't have gone by them. Because
that's, especially with my job, and it shouldn't just be because I have this job. I do this as a general sense, but I would feel terrible if I go to work one day just so I can say, oh, I went to work and I didn't stay home sick, and then get somebody sick, and then now it spreads to their family. Somebody dies in their family because of it.
Horrible.
You know what I mean? So I feel that if you get a cold or whatever, like, get tested, make sure you're good before you do anything else. And
I just did a home test. I did a home test and it was positive once. And so I'm like, yeah, I had COVID. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, it was just a home test.
It's selfish is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
If you're sick, you're sick, and you want to not get tested, not do anything, and just still be out and about, that's very selfish. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know. I'm just ready for to be locked in my house again. And, hey, let's bring up our new house that we could potentially be if we're locked in there and it's not so bad.
Needless to say, with that delayed us like over a month.
Oh, November didn't exist for us.
Yeah.
All I wanted for Thanksgiving was everyone healthy, and we got that. Pretty healthy, right? We got a dinner together. We couldn't even have dinner with my brother and his girlfriend, Ashley, on Thanksgiving because our quarantine period wasn't done yet. So it was just me, Vic, Arrow, Mom, and Dad. And then that Saturday was when quarantine ended. And then we added in Ashley and Jesse. So we were pretty strict about that because we did not want my brother to get sick either.
It's just... so basically we haven't, and now it's crunch time because every couple days there's snow coming down, and soon it'll be every day. So we really got backed up, and so, I mean, it's been a stressful time here at the house.
And I'm sorry we weren't able to podcast, but that was not something like we could prioritize, and I'm still very behind on work. But today, Victor stayed home from barber school to help me.
Yeah, I got a full-time job. I got barber school. I got to help, we got the baby. And then every once in a while, I got to stay home to help Nicole.
And then we're moving.
And we're moving on top of everything.
And so for me, too, it's like we don't have a babysitter, and that's my doing. We just have my mom.
Mm-hmm. And she has her own life, too.
Yeah, so it's very hard. So, like, when I'm home, it's like work with Arrow. But I don't want to leave Arrow at all. And so it's more of like my decision, but it's also very hard to juggle everything. And then moving, and then the snow, like yesterday was a blizzard, trying to move. But, I mean, I had a breakdown the other day because we didn't have our Christmas tree up, and it's Arrow's first Christmas. It's like, okay, I can't stress about the little things again because I just went through hell and realized that what's important.
And actually, now that you're saying that, I watched... So I stayed home, and I went to the gym. I came back. Arrow woke up, so I got Arrow, and I let Nicole, keep sleeping because she doesn't get to sleep in ever. And I
slept until 8.
And I threw on a Netflix documentary. Mm-hmm. It was a documentary short about homelessness. Yeah. And after watching that,
Yeah.
After watching that, people, I mean, I think this woman said in the last 2 years, she's only slept inside 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
People, you know, being out there, they get, especially in the cities, they get beat up, abused, you know, shot, attacked, all this stuff. And I'm just thinking, sitting in our house, in our one of 2 houses, right, on the couch with our baby who's now healthy. I'm healthy. You're healthy. I can't complain about anything. You know what I mean?
Totally. We that's the thing is,
like, he's talking about not being able to pay, like, rent in that city. The cheapest rent he could find was like $700, and he said he was only living there for a little bit because he couldn't afford it anymore. And I'm like, man, that's like the car note. You know what I mean? Like, I feel terrible, like, complaining about anything.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
It is. It is terrible. Like,
so anyway, that's just me reminding you, everybody listening to, and, you know, pass this on to your friends and stuff, to look at what you have and be grateful for it, especially around this time of year. If you can buy gifts for your family and friends, you know, that's a blessing.
Your health is the biggest blessing, I promise you that.
Yeah, so that's just, you know, food for thought. Pay it forward, too. I love doing that. And especially when it fell on my lap the other day, this girl couldn't pay for whatever she was buying for, and I was like, you know what, I got you. She's like, no. I was like, I got it. And those opportunities don't happen all the time, but I like taking advantage of them when they do.
Because it makes you feel good.
Oh, it feels so great.
It makes them feel good, but it also makes you feel good. So it's kind of like, I don't know, you just feel like, wow, I'm glad to help people. That's really what it comes down to.
You know, my favorite TikToks that I ever see, there's this guy, I don't know his name.
I know what you're talking about.
But they'll send him a thing like, the first person that'll
hug them.
Yeah, the first person that hugs me, give them $500, and it'll be some random person that, you know, a lot of times the people that are...
But I thought that was weird because I feel like for me in the COVID season, I just wouldn't go hug someone.
Or he'll do other stuff like...
But I saw a lot of
finish this song.
Oh,
like,
okay.
if the first person to finish this song, or the first person to give me money to buy this toy car for my nephew,
Gotcha.
or the first person, like, he'll come up with stuff like
All
that.
right.
And a lot of times what I've noticed is the most generous and nicest people are not the ones that have the most money. I find that true a lot. And so... lo and behold, the woman, she's like, I don't have much, but like he'll ask, can I get some money to pay for some of my groceries? It's like, I don't have much, and she'll pull out from her wallet maybe like $2-3. She's like, this is what I got that I can give you, and then he'll be like, you know what, keep it. I was trying to find who would actually give me, and here's $500 for you. You know, and I love that. I love that so much. That puts a big old smile on my face.
And around, if anybody's listening locally too. I know that we have a lot of money raised for families who need help in this time. So I think it's through, do you know if it's through, like, I think it's through the Ubley Police, maybe? My parents had just told me, like, the Shop with a Hero type thing.
Oh, yeah, we do that at work, too. Yeah.
But they're locally, I think we're doing really well with money donated. And so if there's families that, we should be able to cover every family that needs help in this area. That's what my parents go to the board meetings. But that's what they had said at the board meeting. So I just don't want any family with, whether it's food or presents or... especially
this time of year. Also, and not even just here. So if you're in this area or the Tri-County area, which is Huron County, Sanilac County, or Tuscola County, the Michigan State Police has partners in all types of fields, right? So if you need any type of assistance, you can reach out and we'll put you in touch with or get you, and it could be a gift card, it could be diapers, it could be food.
What's crazy is make sure you do, because a lot of times... or
tell us somebody that needs it.
You can, because some people won't say that they need it because they're too, like, humble and they're like, you know. But that's totally... and nominate someone, because a lot of times...
it goes to waste.
Yes, and Victor will be looking for families that, you know, it's hard. Like, and so don't let it go to waste. Like, use the resources you have locally. That's why they raise money. That's why they do what they do. Please use it. And there's no shame at all. Like,
everybody needs help at some point. You know what I mean?
1,000,000%. So I just want to, because I think there might be some local people that listen. And so,
that'd be great. So what progress have you made on the house?
Okay, you guys. The pink room is amazing.
The pink room.
It's so pretty.
It's literally pink. That's what she calls it. It's like a dark pink, too.
It's 2 shades, but there's a dark and a light, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. We're going there today. We got to film a motherhood reel, which is for matching pajamas. I know Vic's super stoked about that.
You know, when I decided to stay home today to help Nicole, the first thing I was thinking is, oh my God, I am so excited to do reels with Nicole.
As reels, it's not plural, it's real, because he will not do 2.
No, I will not.
But anyways, so we're going over there to work, but I'm going to hopefully film, like just a room tour, because there's a tree up in there.
Did you guys get that whole room decorated and everything?
Yeah.
And it all cleaned out?
Yep, pretty much. And then, but the other room, I'm not going to say it on air because Victor will okay, I'll say it on air because then Victor will lecture me off air and then you guys will be like, hey, did you get that done? I'm going to get a real tree too, but a small one.
Oh my God.
Small one because I really want like the cozy. Yeah, see, I'm going to get lectured, you guys.
No, you're not.
Yes. It's only going to be like a 7-foot little fat tree.
Only 7 feet, eh?
Okay, 6. I'll take whatever. But I just want like the real cozy.
So, okay, I get it. So this is a conversation that I had with Nicole about a real tree. Okay. Well, one, she went to the city and bought a tree and she was overzealous and she bought it too big. She bought a 12-foot tree when we have 10-foot ceilings.
For some reason, I thought our ceilings were 14 feet.
I don't know. So Nicole does that. So now we have a tree, we have a $700 tree.
Because I was compromising with him.
Sitting in our trailer. And because the only reason I told Nicole.
Because I wanted a real tree and I was like, fine, I'll get a fake tree.
I said we should get a real tree when Arrow is old enough to enjoy the process, appreciate it, and have fun.
Well, why are fake trees so expensive? I can get a real tree for $60.
I understand that. Well, It's because not all trees are that expensive. I don't know.
The other one was just as expensive. That was 10
really?
feet. I went to Menards. I don't know where to go. I went to Hobby Lobby, and they had 2 trees.
Maybe because that's all they had left, and those are the most expensive ones that nobody was going to buy. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway.
No, my mom didn't even get him one there because it was so expensive for like a 7-foot tree. It was like $400.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
trees.
That's
are
what
expensive.
I'm saying.
But they're supposed to be like lifetime trees, right?
It is a lifetime tree, so I guess after 10 years, it'd save you money.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, well, when Arrow's old enough to, be able to join in the or even watch the process,
Totally,
and enjoy it and then actually start doing stuff. I was like, that'd be a perfect time. It'll be a yearly activity as a family.
Yeah.
Because now, like, when we go, Nicole's going to have to watch Arrow. I'm going to have to do everything with the tree. No help, which.
We can get one that's pre-cut.
Which I'm okay with, right? Because
are you
fine.
Okay with that?
I am. Because I am okay with that.
It looks like you're okay with it.
I don't know.
So the reason that I like a real tree is because growing up, I've always had a real tree, and so it's memories and
it's great to pick up the pine needles when they fall.
I bought real garland, and that was everywhere yesterday. I went to Sam's Club. I haven't been out in a long time. We went to Sam's Club and Hobby Lobby. That's it.
I was impressed.
Me, my mom, and my dad and Arrow. But my dad would stay in the car with Arrow. And then I'd have to run back and forth. But I did take him in Sam's Club, and it was so stressful. I just want to get out of there. I was running away from people. I had him, in the stroller, the blanket over it, so, no germs. And I was just like, Mom, I'm going to the car. She's like, you're not going to the car in the city by yourself with a baby. And I was like, yes, I am. And then, I was just...
But it's not really like the city. You know what I mean? It's the city, but it's not the city.
Okay, for us, it's the city. Saginaw is the city.
They What is it?
Just shut up. I don't. So, anyways,
Nicole's like, "Oh my God, what is that? Oh, that's a skyscraper! Wow."
Yeah. Okay. There's no skyscrapers in the city, but anyways, so I don't know what I was saying, but it was stressful, and I wouldn't do it again. And so now the fact that I have a tree that needs to be taken back to
we have to take it back. And mind you, it's like an hour and a half away.
I'm oh my God.
I was like, oh, great.
Does anyone in the area want a 12-foot tree? It's really pretty, but it's pretty skinny. I really like the fat trees.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there was something else I was going to say when you were talking about... Oh, I was at Sam's Club, and I picked up this... my dad and Victor kind of are similar in a lot of ways as far as messes go. And then I picked up the garland, and I thought it was fake at the time. It was right when you walk in. It was really pretty. And then I put 2 in my cart. And then my mom's like, is that real? I was like, no, I think it's fake. And then Dad feels it. He goes, no, that's fake. And then it really was real. And so then my dad goes, oh, my God, you're going to put that reel and stuff in your house. It's going to be everywhere. And I was like, Dad, it's fine. Well, yesterday, him and my mom and dad came over to help put some stuff up because Vic was working. That stuff was everywhere. And my mom's like, well, you got real garland. You might as well get a real tree.
Well, and not only that, like the previous owners in our house, they did us, a favor, and they left a pretty nice fake tree there.
Oh, it's really pretty. I got it decorated.
The only thing is, it's like coated with like fake snow.
That white stuff.
So every time you move the freaking tree, there's fake snow powder all over the place.
Yeah, me and Mom had to change our clothes yesterday. She had to run home to get us a new set of clothes. And then we had to cover the couches with blankets because it gets everywhere. When I took that tree out of the garage and put it in the house, I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck is this? But it's very pretty.
There's a thing with me. Yeah, your dad's the same way. I just don't. Things that are messy, they don't jive well with me.
Like glitter. Victor hates glitter. If I even buy a bag,
she doesn't do it anymore.
A gift bag with glitter, he freaks. It's not worth the fight.
It's not because it's so. Especially when you put it in the car, it's never going away. Like unless we get the car detailed, there's no way to get it out, right? And so I get. When somebody buys us like a gift, like I appreciate the gifts or whatever, but when I open the card and it's all glitter, I'm like, "Are you,
Victor?
Who would do this to us?"
And I think it's cool.
Me and my buddy, we joke all the time that, "Oh yeah, next gift I get you, I'm gonna make sure the bag is all glossed out with glitter all around the bag. We're gonna put a bunch of confetti inside the bag, so when you pull it out, it comes out. The card is just gonna be all glitter." So.
Well, I just want to update you guys that we are feeling good. We are back in business, and we are so grateful and thankful. And
yeah, we just word vomited a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't even know. Like, I never go back and edit anything or re-listen to anything, so I'm like worried. Like, did I talk too much about COVID and stuff? Do you think?
No, we're fine. Please, guys, thank you for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. The easiest way is on the little Apple Podcast app, or you can go online. Don't forget to follow us, or you can always listen to this anywhere you listen to podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, and you can always go to www.cococalientepodcast.com. And yeah, you can check out our merchandise there as well. Don't forget to follow us at Coco Caliente Podcast on Instagram and at Coco Caliente Pod on Twitter. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy Podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy Podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy Podcast on your podcast app.